Donatello was born in 1386 and died in 1466, and he was born and died in Florence. His full name was Donato di Niccolo di Beto Bardi, and little is known of his early education. He reportedly worked in the Florentine workshop of the important new sculptor Lorenzo Ghiberti. By the time he was 20 years old, Donatello had begun to collaborate on the famous Florence Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, which was designed by the painter Giotto di Bondone. Donatello completed much of his work in Florence, and that's where he had his own workshop. He mainly used Gothic tradition, and it also exhibits his emerging tendencies toward incorrupting classical and realistic styles. And he made a lot of sculptures throughout his lifetime. Donatello's later work proposed his work as individuals rather than styles of artwork. One of his main pieces of artwork was Saint Mark, and it was originally created for the guide hall at the Church of Or San Michele in Florence. The statue of Saint Mark was commissioned by the Linen Guild, one of the poorer guilds in Florence whose patron was Saint Mark. The guild decided to hire Donatello to create a larger than life-size work. It was 7 foot 9 inches tall. The work itself was placed into a niche that was already in existence in the building called Or San Michele, and probably because this meant only the front would be visible, since the backside was not carved at all. Because of who Saint Mark was being made for, Donatello emphasized the garments on the figure. The cloth covering his body falls over him like it would fall over an actual body with clothing on it. The way of modeling a body with garments is quite different from the way it had been done at times during the Middle Ages. Saint Mark's right leg carries most of the weight and is made column-like for emphasis, but his left knee and leg are clearly detectable under his robe. His left hand holds the gospel book, and his right hand grasps at the side as if he is receiving divine inspiration to write the gospel. He stands atop a pillow, which is typically a symbol of holiness. However, it also puts emphasis on his weight and conveys to us the idea that he is a real person because the physical world around him reacts to his body. This was the first time in the Renaissance that a statue like this is made where garments echo the body's form like this.
With Donatello being one of the most well-known Italian Renaissance artists, it is expected that he has a lot of impressive pieces of art. Most of his statues were made out of things such as bronze, marble, and wood. One of his most well-known pieces is St. George. This piece was made for a patron saint who was also a military figure. George does not have a large record, but what we do know is that he was a Christian and was tortured for this reason around the year 300. The statue is made of marble, and it was sculpted between the years of 1416 and 1417. Currently, it is located in Bargello National Museum, which is in Italy. It stands just under 7 feet. What was nice about this piece is that it completed the exterior of the Or San Michele Church when it was first created. Aside from his sculptures, Donatello was also a well-known painter, architect, and poet of his era. While there may not be a lot of information known about his personal life, we can also assume that he was a pretty religious guy due to the background of the statues that he made.
Donatello's bronze statue of David is famous as the first unsupported standing work of bronze cast during the Renaissance, and the first freestanding nude male sculpture made since antiquity. It depicts David with a smile, posed with his foot on Goliath's severed head just after defeating the giant. David is completely naked apart from a laurel-topped hat and boots, and bears the sword of Goliath. The creation of the work is undocumented. Most scholars assume the statue was commissioned by Cosimo de' Medici, but the date of the creation is unknown and widely disputed. People dispute that it has been made between the 1420s and the 1460s, with the majority of opinions falling is the statue is made in the 1440s. And about Donatello died in 1466 of unknown causes. Yeah.